All right, guys, Sunday, November the 9th, it's Brutus J from the Brutus J podcast, and it's only one word to describe this weekend as far as sports, and that is wow. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, as I said, man, what a great weekend of college football, and it's only one word to describe it, and that's the word whoa. Tons of upsets. You got conferences literally eating each other alive. That's causing all kind of chaos as far as the standings and implications as far as the college football playoff. But we're gonna talk about all that, and we're gonna start off Friday night with USC going against Northwestern, and Northwestern lost this game to USC by the score of 38-17. Nothing really much to talk about in this game other than the fact that USC executed a fake punt that I have never seen in my life by switching the quarterback's jersey and having him play as the punter. So shout out to USC for showing me something I ain't never seen that could be actually done in a football game before. Alabama defeated LSU 20-9. And I gotta say, me and my son, we met up at Buffalo Wild Wings at the end of the UNC game, and we both agreed. LSU defense came to play but had no answer on the offensive side of the ball. Alabama was able to prevail in this game by the score of 20-9. Ohio State was on the road against Purdue, and that Iron Wall defense, Ohio State, prevailed them over Purdue by the score of 34-10. And I don't see nobody stopping Ohio State anytime soon. I mean, when you got a defense dominant like that and you able to put up points, I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to beat. And people can say what they want to say. We know the Big Ten is terrible, especially the bottom half of the conference, but Ohio State is legit. Indiana was on the road against Penn State where they prevailed 27-24. Fernando Mendoza connected with Omar Cooper last minute touchdown. One of the best catches I ever seen, probably in my life. Best catch of the year, definitely. He leaped up in the air, toe tapped in the back of the end zone, but when you see the replay, it doesn't look like it, but you can see the dirt kick up from the ground. So it was a fantastic catch, and Indiana was able to win this game by the score of 27-24. And I got to tell you, the things I do to have Kurt Signetti as the LSU Tigers football coach, I mean, this man has just flat out turned this program around. And to this day, just to hear ranked number 2 Indiana is just incredible to me. Texas A&M on the road against Missouri, where the Aggies prevailed by the score of 38-17. People can say what they want to say about Texas A&M as well. They like to say that they haven't played the big time conference teams, in the SEC, but it is hard to go 9-0 in the SEC. I don't care who you playing. So shout out to Texas A&M and Marcel Reed and company. Y'all just keep on winning. Doubt the haters. Georgia was on the road against Mississippi State, where many, including myself, thought could be a potential trap game, but Mississippi State didn't have a chance from the beginning. The Dogs prevailed 41-21. So shout out to the Dogs. Next week they have Texas at home. Ole Miss defeated the Citadel 40-0, which everybody knew this game was going to be a blowout, but still shout out to Lane Kiffin. This guy is a phenomenal coach, man. They had a scene, where a kid proposed to his girlfriend, and of course she said yes. And Lane Kiffin made his way over to the couple, and pretty much jumped in the picture with them. So that's something that family is forever gonna have in their portrait. And just a good thing to do. Lane Kiffin is a players and a people's coach. So shout out to Kiffin. BYU on the road against Texas Tech, and they had no shot. I mean, they might as well have just stayed in Brigham Young, man. I mean, they didn't have no shot at all. Texas Tech won this game by the score of 29-7. BYU could not get their offense rolling. And Texas Tech isn't even known for their defense. They're known for offense, but BYU could not move the ball against Texas Tech. So a lot of people starting to question even whether or not, even after BYU first lost, people are questioning whether or not they should actually be a playoff team. So we'll see going forward how this gonna look, but it's still a little bit early. Oregon was on the road against Iowa, a game where a lot of people, including Mr. Kirk Herbstreit, picked Iowa to win this game, and they came close. Iowa scored under a minute left, but Oregon was able to drive down the field and kick the winning field goal to prevail by the score of 18-16. So Oregon's Not only playoff hopes are still alive, but Big Ten championship hopes are alive as well. Notre Dame was at home against Navy, where they prevailed 49-10. Jeremiah Love ran. 94 yards rushing out 13 carries, 2 touchdowns. Tell you something. If Jeremiah Love is not in New York doing that Heisman ceremony, why are you even having a ceremony? Wake Forest on the road against Virginia. Now we're talking about the ACC, which pretty much what I was saying in the beginning. This conference is a mess now. This conference is literally eating each other alive. Underdog Wake Forest on the road against number 14 Virginia, coming in with just one loss, were able to defeat Virginia by the score of 16-9. So that Virginia loss is huge as far as the conference goes. Next game, California was on the road at Louisville. Another ACC battle. California upsets Louisville 29-26 in overtime. That is 2 important losses by number 14 Virginia and number 15 Louisville. Crucial losses. And these aren't to great teams. These are bad losses by both of these teams. So we're gonna see how this ACC gonna look. Maybe Miami is still alive right now. Auburn was on the road in Vanderbilt, and folks, this was a game. Overtime, Vanderbilt wins this game 45-38. And listen to these stats. Same thing, just like Diego Pavil. If he's not in New York, why you gotta hide? Diego Pavil, 25 of 33, 377 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 18 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown run. I mean, this kid is killing it. Diego Pavil might be, other than Fernando Mendoza, he's got to, if he's not ahead of him, he's 1 or 2 in the Heisman voting right now, because without this kid, Vanderbilt wouldn't be where they are right now. It's just what it is. Syracuse on the road against Miami. Miami was able to prevail in this game by the score of 38-10. And last, Wisconsin was at home against Washington, where they upset number 23 Washington by the score of 13-10. So shout out to the Badgers. They coach Luke Fickell got told he would return next year, so I guess that kind of sparked the victory. Now let's talk about the actual AP top 25, not the college football playoffs. Well, you still have Ohio State number 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Alabama 4, Georgia 5. Ole Miss is at 6, Oregon at 7, Texas Tech at 8, Notre Dame at 9, and Texas 10. I just still don't get it. Why on earth is Notre Dame ahead of Texas? If folks who don't understand it, just look at both of their schedules of who they done beat. It just don't make sense to me, but it is what it is. Oklahoma number 11, while you drop down to number 12. So that's pretty much all of your college football games, other than the fact that the Tar Heels, they did win. They won by the score of 20-6 over the Stanford Cardinals. My first time watching Stanford up close, man, big guys. Oh my God, they are huge. And clearly they just wanted to run the ball, but the Tar Heels were able to prevail in this game and they won. So shout out to Belichick in the game for their second ACC win. All right, let's talk about some NFL. Early this morning, you had the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts playing in Berlin, Germany, where the game went in overtime, and the Colts were able to win this game by the score of 31-25. Jonathan Taylor ran a whole day, broke his own team record for the second time. 32 carries, 44 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The Falcons had no answer. Daniel Jones, 19 for 26, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. If you want to hear about the Falcons, Penix, 12 for 28, 177 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Bijan Robinson, 17 carries, 84 yards. I just don't get the Falcons, y'all. I just don't get it. Falcons are now 3-6 on the year, and they have no answers right now. This fan base has just went through a lot. All right, Ravens were on the road against Minnesota, and the Ravens were able to secure their 3rd straight win, 2nd straight win with Lamar Jackson. I listened to this game, started off slow. That defense was giving him problems. Slowly but surely, Lamar figured it out. He was 17 for 29, 176 yards, and 1 touchdown. Eric Henry had 20 carries for 75 yards. What hurt Minnesota in this game were the interceptions. J.J. McCarthy had two crucial interceptions that hurt Minnesota in this game. So the Ravens prevailed in this game by the score of 27-19. We're on the road against the Jets. I picked the Browns to win this game, but of course, I lost and the Jets were able to win this game. But I'm very happy for Justin Fields. Anytime Justin Fields wins a game, I'm happy. Justin didn't have that great of a game. He was 6 of 11, 54 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. But the Jets were able to secure this victory. If you want to know about the Cleveland Browns stat, Dylan Gabriel was 17 of 32, 167 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. Hopefully soon, Shedeur Sanders will get his shot. Houston Texans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 36-29. I really did think the Jaguars were going to hold on and win this game, but it did not happen. Trevor Lawrence, 13-23, 158 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not a good game for Trevor Lawrence. The reason why I felt like Jacksonville should have won this game, C.J. Stroud was out this game. Davis Mills, he came in and he balled. He was 27 for 45, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Now, the upset of the day, in my opinion, Bills were on the road against the Dolphins. Dolphins won this game by the score of 30-13. For those who don't know, the Bills always win. I think they done won like 9 or 10 straight games in Miami. Well, guess what? It wasn't happening today. It was not happening today. Josh Allen, 28 for 40, 306 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. Solid game, but most of those were spent trying to come back. Tua was 15-21, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. But the guy of the game was Devon Achane, 22 carries, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. Excuse me, y'all. Still working on this cold. Patriots defeated the Buccaneers by the score of 28-23. When I tell you, I am so excited for Drake May. 270 yards, two TDs, and 1 interception. He was 16 for 31. Ravion Henderson, 14 carries, 147 yards, and 2 TDs. The Patriots are rolling. They are rolling. That was a big-time win in Tampa Bay. Tampa, as we all know, has been playing good football this year. Giants were on the road in Chicago, and the Bears were able to win this game 24-20. Jackson Dart was injured during this game. Hopefully he will come back. Well, let's talk about the Bears and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is still balling. 20 for 36, 220 yards, 1 touchdown. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries and 80 yards. The Bears are now 6-3 on the year. Before Jackson Dart got hurt, he was 19 for 29, 242 yards, and no TDs. Thanks were at the Panthers. Now, a game that many felt like the Panthers should have won. Saints came into this game at 1-8. Panthers came in at 5-4 and were unable to stop Tyler Shure and company. Tyler Shure was 19-27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kamara was 22 carries and 83 yards. Bryce Young was 17-25, 124 yards and an interception with no TDs. So little inconsistent going on here, but hopefully the Panthers will bounce back. They've been playing good ball as of late, but they fell to a very bad team, so that was a bad loss. Arizona Cardinals at Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks won this game by the score of 44-22. This is the first game since pretty much the Cardinals decided to bench Kyler Murray, and in this game, Jacoby Brissett wasn't it. He was 22 for 44, 258 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but the Seahawks were able to prevail in this game by the score of 44-22. Sam Darnold, 10 for 12, 178 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. But it looks like the Seahawks running game took over in this. You had Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, and George Holani, all 3 combined for 198 yards rushing in this game. Lions were at the Commanders where they won the game by the score of 44-22. Jared Goff was 25 for 33, 320 yards, 3 TDs. Man, he made somebody happy in fantasy. Jahmyr Gibbs had 15 carries for 142 yards. David Montgomery, 15 carries for 71 yards. I mean, they just flat out ran all over the Washington Commanders, who are, by the way, without Jaden Daniels. Rams on the road against the 49ers. I actually picked the Rams to win this game. Rams won this game by the score of 42-26. For some reason, when it comes to the Rams and the 49ers, if the 49ers are playing in LA, they win. When the Rams playing in San Francisco, they win. I actually went by that. So I guess it was the Rams' time to win in this. Matthew Stafford was 24-36, 280 yards, and 4 touchdowns. This is his second game this year throwing for 4 touchdowns. So shout out to Matthew Stafford. Kyron Williams, 14 carries, 73 yards. Blake Corum, 13 carries for 56 yards. So they were clicking on all cylinders, running and passing the ball. Mac Jones, 33 for 39, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I mean, good stats, but just not enough to beat the Rams. All right, the Raiders were on the road against the Broncos Thursday night. That was a nasty game, man. Nasty game, but the Broncos were able to prevail in this game by the score of 10-7. Eagles and the Packers play on Monday night. That's going to be a pretty good game. Give me the Packers at home. It's going to be cold in that game, too. And as of right now, the Chargers are leading the Steelers by the score of 5-3 in the Sunday night game. So it looks like there was a safety in this game. Stats wise, right now, Aaron Rodgers 6'11", 56 yards and an interception. And as far as the Chargers go, Justin Herbert is 11-19 for 74 yards. So not a lot of action going on in this game right now. Second quarter, under the 2-minute warning as we speak. Now, let's talk some NBA. Shout out to the Hawks, man. I was watching the Hawks yesterday. They beat the Lakers by the score of 122-102. Big win for the Hawks. Hawks are now 5-5 on the year. A little inconsistent, but it's still early. Hopefully, they'll get things rolling. But in the victory, they look real good. Bounding, passing, shooting, looking on all cylinders. And it ain't nowadays. It ain't easy to beat the LA Lakers. Signing everybody that's available to try to make them look good as long as LeBron is not around. All right, let's go over some of these Saturday games that happened. The Mavericks defeated the Wizards 111-105. The 76ers defeated the Raptors 130-120. And as I said, the Hawks defeated the Lakers 122-102. The Cavs defeated the Bulls 128-122. The Heat defeated the Trailblazers 136-131. And the Spurs, my pick in the West, defeated the Pelicans 126-119. The Nuggets defeated the Pacers 117-100. And the Suns defeated the Clippers 114-103. As far as the Sunday slate, yeah, the Pistons leading the 76ers right now 95-94 in a close game in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go. The Pacers are trailing the Warriors 48-41 at halftime. The Timberwolves are leading the Kings 43-33 in the second quarter with 7 minutes and 54 seconds left. The Rockets defeated the Bucks 122-115. The Knicks, my Eastern Conference pick, defeated the Nets 134-98. The Celtics defeated the Magic 111-107. And the Thunder defeated the Grizzlies 114-100. Right now, I know it's still early. We're going on 3 weeks, since the season started. Right now, as far as some of these stats go, I love looking at the stats, as far as NBA. Points right now, Giannis, 33.4 points a game. See, from Philadelphia, 33.2 points per game, leading the league. Assist-wise, you already know it's Joker, 11.9. Steph Curry leading in 3 points at 4 a game. And also rebounds, Jokic 13. 13 a game. Blocks, you already know, is Victor Wembanyama at 3.8. And steals, of course, it's Wallace from the Oklahoma City Center. All right. And as far as still early, like I said, you know who my picks here, but I still like to talk about the standings right now. At the top of the Eastern Conference right now is Detroit. Detroit at 7-2. Cleveland at 7-3, number 2. I'll just say the first 2. Oklahoma City, man, I tell you, man, it look like, nothing's changed in Oklahoma City. 10-1 at the top. And then you got San Antonio 7-2, Denver 7-2, and the Lakers at 7-3, who just lost to the Hawks. All right, let's talk some college basketball. We're gonna start with the Saturday slate. Alabama, that was a real good game. They defeated St. John's by the score of 103-96 in the Garden. So shout out to the Bama Tide in basketball. I got to tell you, man, wonder about talking about basketball before they coach came along, man. Nate is a very good coach. He is a very good coach. Western Carolina played Duke with a Boozer brothers played debut for the first time, and they won this game by the score of 94-54. And folks, they did not disappoint. I'm looking forward to seeing Duke against North Carolina this year. That's going to be a good one. Number 2, Houston. And Kelvin Sampson defeated Towson 65-48. Every year, man, it ain't going to change, man. Houston always going to have a solid defense. Always. Tennessee defeated Northern Kentucky by the score of 95-56. Michigan State defeated Arkansas 69-66. That was a good game as well. BYU defeated Holy Cross 98-53. And Gonzaga, the San Antonio of college basketball, defeated Oklahoma by the score of 83-68. Sunday games. Baylor defeated Washington 44-37. Harvard defeated New Hampshire 86-75. Campbell defeated Western Michigan 91-82. Upstate defeated North Carolina Central 76-54. Indiana defeated Marquette 100-77. James Madison defeated Coppin State 84-70. American defeated Penn 84-78. Georgia all over Morehead State 120-81. Ursa defeated Lipscomb 92-77. Bowling Green defeated Lemoyne 83-60. That is pretty much wrapping up most of college basketball. Let's talk about some of my women. I love women's college basketball. I love it. All right. Let's talk about Saturday's game. All right. High Point defeated Wofford 81-73. Sal defeated St. Francis 84-73. It defeated St. Mary's 66-52. West Georgia defeated Gardner-Webb 91-68. Shout out to West Georgia. I'm from West Georgia. West Georgia, out of Carrollton, Georgia, by the way. Auburn defeated Alabama State by the score of 82-41. Not a lot of ranked games happened yesterday. All right, let's get into Sunday's game. LSU 118, Georgia Southern 7. And I got to tell you, this LSU team, man, they are locked and loaded. They got a transfer from Malaysia for Wiley, who came from South Carolina, and she's still coming off the bench, but she is leading scores off the bench. LSU Tigers, I'm looking forward to seeing the LSU and South Carolina game later on in January. Number 19, Michigan defeated Harvard 84-55. Number 7, Duke defeated Holy Cross 91-48. Maryland defeated Georgetown 85-66. Louisville defeated North Kentucky 89-61. Kentucky defeated Buffalo 81-47. Tennessee defeated UT Martin 72-61. USC defeated North Carolina State 69-68. Notre Dame defeated Chicago State by the score of 116-58. Baylor defeated Lindenwood 76-63. Defeated Evansville 119-43. And number 1 UConn defeated Florida State 99-67. All right, so that pretty much wraps up everything from the NBA to college to the NFL. What a great weekend. So my overall thought on this whole weekend, man. It was phenomenal. Like I said, the ACC is just a mess right now. When you look at those standings right now in the ACC, I mean, it is just something else. We don't know who is going to play in the ACC championship game. Like I said, right now when you look, let me see, got let's look at the ACC. Right now, it looks like you have Georgia Tech and Louisville. Right now, it's looking like Georgia Tech and Louisville. Things could change because it's still a little early. And then, as far as the NFL, right now, the Colts are the number one seed in the AFC. That is something else, man. Whoever would have thought after the year the Colts had a year ago, of course, they benched their quarterback. They signed Daniel Jones, and all he's did was come and help win. But I do think, that the running game, is helping him out a lot. The Colts look good though. Good trade to get Sauce Gardner, shut down corner, so that helps out the defense. But I don't know, man. My pick out the AFC was the Buffalo Bills, but I'm starting to lean towards the New England Patriots. I mean, if you're a Patriot fan, I mean, you guys got to be lucky. Y'all have got to be lucky. You do away with Tom Brady. I mean, let's admit it was good. I mean, because he still went somewhere else and won a championship. But to get a quarterback like Drake May, and if you're a Falcons fan or me a Minnesota Viking fan, why can't we get something? Why can't we get lucky like that? I mean, I feel like it's structure within the organization that keeps the momentum going as far as leadership, quarterbacking. I mean, these organizations just know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Meanwhile, teams like Minnesota, Atlanta, Cleveland, Carolina, the inconsistency just stays there. While the other teams, they know how to win. They know how to win. Just flat out know how to win. And as far as the NBA, it's early, but my picks are still looking good. Shout out to the Knicks, shout out to the Spurs. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of big games coming up this weekend in college football. That Georgia Texas game, that's gonna be a big game. Georgia Texas is gonna be a big game. Who knows what Texas team is gonna show up? Is it gonna be the Texas team that showed up against Vanderbilt? Or is it gonna be the Texas team that showed up against Florida? Who knows? You got Texas A&M at home against South Carolina. What South Carolina team gonna show up? Notre Dame at Pitt. Pitt is a team to be watching out for because when you look at their schedule, let's talk about Pittsburgh for a minute. Let's talk about Pittsburgh. When you look at Pittsburgh's schedule, the remaining games they got going on right here, if they win out, there's no way you could deny them a playoff interest. No way. They're home against Notre Dame. Let's see here. Home against Notre Dame. On the road against Georgia Tech. And then they're home against Miami. Can they beat Notre Dame? Yes. Can they win at Georgia Tech? Yes. Can they win at home against Miami? Yes. If they win all three of these games, you cannot deny them a playoff entry unless they lose the ACC championship. Because they could beat Georgia Tech and then play Georgia Tech again in the ACC championship game. But who knows? Who knows? You got Oklahoma at Alabama. What John Mateus going to show up? Alabama cannot run the ball for nothing. And that's what Oklahoma does. They stop the run. I heard somebody say, if it wasn't for Alabama offensive coordinator Ryan Grubbs, Bernard, the wide receiver, what would Alabama be? It's like that duo has been working magic all year. But I tell you what, though, one thing you can't deny is Ty Simpson. That kid, man, he doesn't hold on to the ball. His mind is made up quick. And by doing it, only has one interception all year. I can't believe don't nobody notice that. Through 10 weeks of football, actually 11 weeks of football, one interception thrown. One. That's a good stat. One interception. Yep. That's another. He should be in the Heisman conversation as well. Florida at Ole Miss. Who knows what's going to happen there? What Florida team going to show up? Lagway got benched against Kentucky. I mean, I didn't talk about that game because it ain't a top 25 game, but I've never seen a Florida team that bad, especially against Kentucky. Especially against Kentucky. I mean, they just ran all over them. Final was 38-20, but at one point it was 38-7. So, I mean, that's crazy. So who knows what Florida team gonna show up against Ole Miss? As far as NFL, Buffalo losing to Miami. What in the world? I mean, I know it's NFL, anybody could lose, but that's a bad loss. That is a bad loss. I mean, that's 2 bad losses Buffalo done had. And yes, I am saying against the Falcons that was a bad loss because you look at Atlanta right now. I mean, they're a mess. They're a mess. You know, poor Raheem Morris. Should I even say that? Just the look on his face walking off that field, man. How much more can Arthur Blank take? How much more can I hate to say it, but people who doubted Caleb Williams, how you looking now? You can talk about his painted fingernails and all this and that, but that dude is flat out balling right now. We knew he had talent. We knew. There was the other stuff people was worried about, but Caleb Williams is baller. But if I had to pick right now, the MVP right now of the National Football League, I'm gonna say one name, and y'all probably gonna be like, "Oh, he just been over because he came from USC." No, 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 no. Drake May is balling. Give me Drake May for MVP, right? Drake May is balling. He balling. So I will take Drake May. I will take Drake May right now in the first half for my NFL MVP because nobody, when I tell you nobody, expected the Patriots to be at 7 wins in a row. Nobody. I tell you what, the Ravens have put everybody on notice. Lamar Jackson is back, 3 wins in a row. They 4-5 now. They coming. They coming. So everybody be on the lookout. They are definitely coming. Minnesota's a mess. Big win last week against Detroit. Then you come back and lose a home game against the Ravens. Can't beat Detroit on the road and then come back and have a performance like that. I get it. J.J. McCartney's still technically a rookie, but you got to get better, buddy. Can't be throwing interceptions like that. Just can't do it. And the Jaguars, man, God, they should have won that game. No reason to lose that game. None at all. None to lose that game. Well, guys, that pretty much did it. And as you can tell, I know y'all tired of hearing me saying this, but man, this cold is just killing me. But it ain't gonna get no better if you in and out the house on the road. Different cities, different towns, in and out the car. I wear a mask, but I don't know. With the cold weather is undefeated against me. And believe it or not, this is my favorite time of the year. My October, baby. So I love cold weather. But hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully it'll get better. Shout out to my area this week is high school football playoff start. Podcast is going out to a national audience, but you know, for those who don't know, I stay in Georgia. What I think is the high school football capital. Not Texas, not California, but Georgia. What a talent at. Not Florida, where all the talent at, but high school football start this week. And I am looking forward to it, man. High school football is the best at this time of the year. It is the best. But guys, it has been awesome. And I want to give a real quick good shout out to somebody. Earlier, before I started my podcast, I actually had a chance to collab with Mr. Billy Lindahl on his podcast, and we talked about a lot of things, and he was able to let me come on his podcast and give a shout out to all my listeners and pretty much introduce myself because this guy, he has a huge following. Hopefully, all his listeners would take heed to me and start following and subscribing to me as well. But shout out to him for allowing me to come on his show, and soon he'll be coming on the Brutus J podcast. Looking forward to that. Whatever. If you are listening to this and you have a podcast, hit me up so we can talk. I love to, get on other shows, discuss other things, football. But one thing I do want to point out, somebody asked me, they said, hey, If you talk about sports, why is your show called Brutus J Podcast? I have a good answer for that, folks. A good answer. The reason why I don't include sports in the title is because guess what? In the future, this show will evolve more than sports. That's why. We talking sports right now, people. Sports with humor. But in the near future, it will be more. It's going to be more. The only thing I don't do is politics. I might do politics outside of this podcast, but I don't do no politics during this podcast. But it will evolve to more. It will evolve to more. Right now, it's just sports. It'll always be sports, but we're going to include a lot more. A lot more. But it's getting about that time, and it has been a fantastic weekend. And as you already know, I will be back on here again Thursday. I will be back on here again Friday. Again, for those who don't know, Friday nights I do high school football, which I don't do national, but just local. Only local people hear my high school show. But then, Thursday, as I said, we recap, we preview everything, and then Sunday we recap everything. But other than that, guys, you guys have a wonderful week. You already know my motto: work smarter, not harder. I need to start using that for myself while I'm running around with this cold. But you guys have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you guys again Thursday. And it was, as usual, it was excellent talking to all you guys again. And again, do not work too hard. I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Have a good one.